Hey guys, welcome to another video. I'm Chris. I got my buddy Gary here today, and we are going to take his big cat out fishing. But first, it's going to need a major upgrade. This thing is going to be epic, so stick around, check it out. This is the most power I've ever seen put in a boat. Gary's got a big boat, and it takes a lot of power for his trolling motor to keep us in place, and he has to have some auxiliary power come into his batteries when we're out there fishing. And we're going to do a huge upgrade, the biggest one we've ever done. I teamed up with our friends over at EnjoyBot again. We have another install. We're going to do that, and then we're going to take this thing fishing and try it out. All right, let me show you what we got. All right, guys, so right now, Gary is powering trolling motor with these three 12-volt, 92 amp hour AGM batteries. And that's not enough. Half the time we're out there fishing, he has to use he has a DC to DC charger, which charges these batteries, turns on his motor, and it starts charging the batteries because we start losing voltage. And these are just not enough to power a big boat like that. The trolling motor has to work so much harder than like with my boat, which is like half the size. EnjoyBot has given us a 36 volt, 65 amp hour battery. This single battery right here has more power than these three over here. But not just that. Got 1, 2, 3 36 volt lithium batteries for 195 amp hours. That's probably the equivalent to almost 10 of these batteries. That's almost quadruple the power in these three batteries as those. And this little rat's nest right here is his DC to DC charger. And hopefully we can just kind of put this thing to bed. You shouldn't have to use it anymore. You should have to start the motor, and then you're wasting hours, and you're gonna have to do more oil changes and wasting fuel. So hopefully we're gonna put it into that and get these batteries installed. All right, so first let's talk about these batteries real quick. These are a 36 volt, 65 amp hour self-heating battery. If you add these together in parallel, that means you add the amperage together. And like with the 12 volt ones, you add those in series, which you add the voltage together. That's how you get 36 volts out of 12 volt batteries. But we'll explain a little bit more of that in just a minute. And these things are self-heating. So like, and not that it happens very often here in Florida, but if we do have a freeze, you don't have to, when you have lithium batteries, they don't like freezing. They don't like charging when in freezing temperatures. But these will automatically heat themselves up in freezing temperatures, so you don't have to worry about that. All right, so a little bit about setting these things up. If you're going to run 36 volt batteries in parallel or any other batteries in parallel, the first thing you want to do is you want to equalize them all. And basically what we did was we set the charger individually one at a time on each one of these things and let it get to max voltage, was about 41 volts. And then we just take our multimeter and we test them to make sure they're all the same voltage, because you don't want one lower than the other when you connect them together, so that when you do wind up charging them, they're going to be cattywampus. And when we're doing series, the way like you do the 12 volts, you would run positive to negative, and then this positive to one terminal and this negative to another terminal. That's called series. That's when you add the voltages together. But with parallel, you run the positive and negative together, the positive and negative together, and then you run them off to power your components. So then you add the amperage together and the voltage stays the same, because these are 36 volts each at 65 amp hours. All right, guys, so we're going to get these installed, and I've already just talked about these in other videos and stuff. The weight savings, the amount of power you get for how much these things cost, they're already way ahead of lead acid batteries or AGM. Like I said, you'd have to buy 10 of these AGM batteries to equal the same amount of power you get out of these three. That would cost way more than what you have here. So we're going to get these installed. Now it's time to squeeze in here. We got the batteries in place right here. We're going to wire these things up in parallel. And then we also have a battery shunt to monitor it, because these do not have the Bluetooth app. So you're going to have some kind of external source to monitor how much power you have in your batteries. And you see all these little stickums on the over here? That's where all the wires were for having to charge these batteries. It covered this whole wall over here. All right, now time to connect these in parallel. That's positive to positive to positive, negative to negative to negative. All right, see, we got the negatives all connected, the positives all connected. And when you're connecting these things in parallel like this, you want to put the positive that goes to the trolling motor over here and the charging positive over here. And then you want to put the negative for the charger and the negative for the trolling motor power actually over here on the shunt, because we want everything, all the negative stuff to go in and out through the shunt so it can read all the power going in and out of it. But you want to keep them on opposite sides so it's an even flow of power distributed through the batteries. If you put both all the positives on here and then all the negatives on here, then this battery is going to carry a heavier load than these two, and this one's going to wear out faster. So whenever you connect these in parallel, always like put them on the opposite ends. All right, and Gary purchased this bus bar to make things a little easier so we can connect a couple of different negative things to this shunt right here. So we'll get that put in and I'll show you how it turns out. All right, guys, so we mounted the shunt on the wall over here with the bus bar, and you want all the power going through the shunt in and out of the batteries. So we got a cable going from the negative into the shunt, and here is the extension cable. So for it to read out, you have to have one positive going to there, which plugs in up underneath there, and then the negative going over here to this bus bar. Here we have the cable that goes to the trolling motor, and here we have the negative cable for the charger. So everything goes through here and into the batteries, and that's how it reads it out. Okay, we have the battery monitor here that plugs into the shunt over there, and it just plugs in right there. And Gary didn't want to drill any more holes in his console, so we're just going to mount this thing right up here on the wall. So if he ever wants to know the state of charge of the batteries, he can just open his door and check it out. And I just got some double-sided Velcro here that we're going to slap on here and then stick it up there. Before we stick this up there, we're just going to do the settings in it. And it's 195, capacity is 195 amp hours, 5, and then come down, and full is 40.2 volts, 0.2, that is full. All right, they say 33.5 volts to 0. And power off should be 38.4. Okay, all right, so there we go, 195 amp hours, 100% full. And we're just going to stick this right on the wall over here. And we're going to stick it right here. Does that look good? All right, guys, so we got it all set up. EnjoyBot gave us these batteries and the cables to connect them, and they gave us the shunt right here. So, but the bus bar Gary bought, and he bought his own charger there for it. I'll leave the charger he bought linked below because it is a waterproof charger. It should last for a long time. It's IP65, I think, rated, and 18 amps, so it can charge these pretty quick. But that wraps it up. That's all it takes. And we have the little breaker there for the power for the trolling motor. It's that simple, guys. This is the most power I've ever seen put in a boat for a trolling motor. I've seen lots of installs. I've even put quite a few lithium batteries in my boat and other people's boats, and this is the biggest yet. 195 amp hours of lithium. I'm sure there's some 200 amp hour lead acid batteries installed somewhere, but that's still less than half of the power of these lithium batteries. Because if we remember, the lead acid and AGM batteries, that voltage curve drops really fast when you're using the amp hours. Once you get about 50% of the amp hours, the voltage drops below a usable rate. But with the lithiums, that voltage stays high all the way up until the very end and then drops off. Now it's time for a quick function test. There we go, we got power. All right, guys, so we got those monster batteries installed here. So next time you see us, we're gonna be on the water. All right, guys, so we made it about 15 miles offshore, and we're gonna give this trolling motor a run for its money. We got some pretty good current out here and a little bit of wind. So we're gonna see how much power we got left after this fishing trip. We're gonna try to catch some fish. We got some shrimp, and we stopped and we grabbed some mullet. Leave a comment down below and what percentage you think of battery life we're gonna have left when we get done with this. First drop, new spot, and it feels like a decent fish. See what we got here. See some color already. What do we got here? Oh, wah, wah. Red snapper, going back. Oh, Joe's got a nice one. Come on, Joe. Gotta put a little bit of fish in the box. See if I can see any color.
Feels like he's fighting like a blue runner.
Yeah, they've just been all over us today. Oh, Kota's gonna get him. Kota's gonna get him. Kota got him. Kota got him. Kota got him. Oh, it's a red. Half a red now. Oh yeah, look at that Kota. The Kota. Oh my God. Yeah, he's gone. Uh oh, we got another Kota down here. And I got a little Almaco. Almaco. There's no size regulations in Almacos. Vermilion. That's a big old vermilion. You guys want this one, or is he too small?
He's a little small.
Yeah. All right, we'll let the little Almaco Jack, letting him go. And that's a vermilion. Uh oh, that's a keeper.
Nice.
Yep. This spot's paying off. Quick check. Yeah, he's almost 14.
Nice.
Good job, Joe. There we go. What's crazy is those three lithium batteries are the same size as my single 100 amp hour lithium battery. So they compact a lot of power into a little punch. Like if you guys remember when I installed mine, it's probably about the same size as those three put together. And it's like half the power of these guys. All right, we're about to get hit again. Yep, there you go. Again on the mullet. These Almaco are loving the mullet. Uh-oh. That's a good size. Come on.
Is it Almaco?
Yeah, this one feels like it. I had an eyelet. Uh-oh, there's a shark coming after him. Shark coming after him. Yeah, please. Let's net this one. He's not that bad. I'll get him. He almost got sharked again. Yeah, see, if he still had his lead acid batteries in there, they'd already be down, and he'd have the motors running, trying to charge it to keep up. These should last a long time, so be very interesting to see what the percentage is when we get done here. And do I got a fishy? There we go. Yep. That's a decent fish. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He's big. He's big. Did I just get sharked? Probably just got sharked. Yeah, that's a shark got me. I had something nice and the shark grabbed whatever I had. All right, you better crank, Gary. He's been getting snatched. Oh, there goes a shark. There's a big shark right after him. You see him? Yeah. Oh, that was a big, looked like a big bull. All right, come on, Alco. Yeah, I got him. Uh-oh, Joe's hooked up. And Gary's got something over here. Yeah. All right, that's gonna wrap up our review of the EnjoyBot 36 volt, 65 amp hour battery and 3 run in parallel. Anybody wanna guess how much battery power we have left? 96%. 96%. Before with his lead acid batteries, he was having to run his 12 volt to 36 volt onboard charger and burning gas and wasting hours on the motors and stuff. He doesn't have to do that anymore. 96% and almost a 6-hour trip. So that's pretty good. He can go to multiple trips, go on vacation, never probably have to charge it.
That's right.
So he's looking forward to that. And the good thing about these batteries is, like, if you just want one, which can power probably my boat, and they come in like 1-pack, 2-pack, 3-packs, 4-pack, the more you buy, the cheaper it is. So I'll leave links for all that stuff down in the description here below. But we didn't throw too many catches into this video because we caught a lot of fish, and it's just gonna make this battery review video too long. So we're gonna throw all those catches into another video next. So subscribe, notification bell, all that fancy jazz. Thanks to EnjoyBot for sending us those batteries. Thanks for coming along, guys. Till we see you next time. Stay salty.